At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger. You are watching Coffee with Krueger live from my remote location here in Baja, Mexico. I am here on vacation with my family. This is a bit of I did a post here a couple of days ago when we arrived here. I have been coming here for close to 30 years now, somewhere around that time frame. My mom built a house out here on the ocean, and it's just a beautiful location for her retirement. Of course, I come here at least once, if not twice a year, and I've been doing that for a long time here. So this is a great spot for us to just come and relax, get kind of away from it all. My son likes to come out here, go swim in the ocean, he does skimboarding and bodyboard, boogie boarding that is. My wife likes to come out here, enjoy and relax as well. I like to come out here. And even though I'm still working, you're like, well, you're not really on vacation, you're still working. Yes, I am, but it's kind of nice to break away from the old routine, right? To be at home, but to be somewhere else, to just be in a different location, and especially the beach in Mexico. You know, great tacos every day. I'm absolutely loving it. We had a great trip down, of course, basically from Redding all the way down I-5, and made our way across the border, and everything is great. And we made it here. We've already had some tacos. Haven't done a whole lot. My son did get to go out and do some skimboarding and boogie boarding yesterday. We hung out with the dog, and you can't hear me. I can't hear. Oh boy. I don't know why. Oh. I know why. Can you hear me now? The coffee with, I don't know why the music was on. You can probably, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what happened. I'm still getting used to my remote location here, and I've got this set up, and I've got to pay close attention. For some reason, the music came on. I'm going to look into that and see why not. But anyways, let's start over again. Now that you can hear me. I am live here in Baja, Mexico. My mom built a house out here, gosh, close to 30 years ago now. And I thought it was like 30 years, but I was actually talking to her yesterday. She said it was like 26, 27 years. So right around the time that I actually moved to the North State, to Redding, is about the time that she built the house out here. And ever since, once, twice, even sometimes 3 times a year, I come out here and visit her. Out to Mexico, and it's kind of become a home away from home. And I absolutely love coming out here, and we had a great trip. We came down here we drove down here Saturday, got here Saturday evening, and then spent the day on the beach yesterday, eating tacos, hanging out with the dog, my wife. My son was out boogie boarding and skimboarding, and we were on the beach. I got a little bit of sun out there yesterday, as a matter of fact, but out there absolutely enjoying it. Temperature is like 70 degrees. It's absolutely gorgeous here. It's not too cool. It's nice and warm out. The sun was out. Turned out to be a gorgeous, gorgeous day yesterday. So I am going to be here for 2 weeks with my family, hanging out here. I will still be giving you the forecast. Now, some of you are saying, well, you're not really on vacation because you're still working. Well, yes, I am, but I just like to kind of break away from the routine. Being at home, but coming out to a great location that I love out here. Like I said, kind of a home away from home. And it's just nice to get away. And I do get the rest of the day off after I do Coffee with Krueger. And I can, just relax and enjoy time with my family here in Mexico. And of course, I've still got Chase Wilson doing the weekend weather for me as well. So yes, I am still working, but I'm glad that I get to be here. And here's one of the things that I love about what I do. It's all remote. It's all done online. So as long as you have an internet connection, I can do what I do every single day from anywhere in the world. That's the beauty of it. The only difference is I don't have my whole setup here that I have at my in-home studio, the green screen. However, that being said, I'm really excited about this. This year, we are working on taking one of the rooms here. We got all this property here, all these great casitas and places, Airbnbs in the works, but we're going to take a room and kind of create an in-home studio for me here. And the setup that I'm going to be developing will be much like the in-home studio that I have in Redding. So it'll be like I'm not even gone. I'll have a green screen. I'll have everything. It's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited about it. And that will allow me to actually come out here and stay here longer stretches. But I'm really looking forward to that. And I do want to just really stress that I'm not going anywhere. I'm still planning on living in Redding for quite a while. I don't have any plans on leaving or retiring or getting out of here. I just, I love the fact that I'll have another studio here in Mexico. So when I do go on vacation, and the thing is, if a fire breaks out or anything like that, I can still just as effectively give you the information that you need right from here. Because I still have my 25 plus years of experience forecasting for Northern California. It doesn't matter where I am. I know the weather there, right? And on top of that, forecast model data. That's all comes off the internet. So as long as I have access to the forecast model data and can access it, I'm good. And I can forecast the weather for you no matter where I am. So that's the beauty of it. I'm just not there experiencing it there with you. Like, for example, the smoke and the heat wave that we experienced over the weekend, or you experienced over the weekend. I wasn't necessarily experiencing that. But I still understand that heat, right? I've been there. I've been there many times during the heat. So I'm out here enjoying cooler weather. And the good news is we are expecting to see cooler weather making its way here. Let's get you into it, shall we? And this is a look at Krueger's Quick Cast for your Thursday. It's not even Thursday. I'm on vacation, folks. I don't know what day it is. It's Monday, July 14th. Let's take a look at your Krueger's Quick Cast and get you through the day. We got a hot start to the week. The heat wave you're experiencing, it's going to stick around here one more day. But we've got a cooling trend this week. So temperatures are dropping, but highs are dropping to a little below normal for this time of the year. Now keep in mind, the normal high for this time of the year is about 100 degrees in the valley. So if we're 100 degrees, that's normal. If we're below 100 degrees, that's actually below normal. Now here's the good thing. If you recall Friday, if you watched on Friday, I was talking about the long range was showing the potential for a big heat wave coming in toward the end of this month. I'm not seeing that anymore. In fact, I don't see any big heat waves in sight. We're going to get into all of that in the deeper dive here in just a bit. Let's take a look at the current temperatures out there right now. It's still pretty mild, hazy, a little smoky. There you can see about 72 degrees in Redding. It looks like Candace Thompson saying, I'm on vacation too, escaping Redding's heat and smoke. I don't blame you, Candace. 63 degrees out in Shingletown, 62 degrees in Alturas, and we've got a temperature of about 69 degrees in Susanville. All right, there you can see you out the door this morning. We are looking at temperatures still pretty mild. It's going to be hazy and smoky for many of us this morning, including the valley, even though it shows the sunny skies. Just note that even if you see sunny skies, that doesn't mean it won't be hazy at the very least, right? But we do expect some smoky skies, especially for areas north and northeast of the Green Fire, and areas south of the Butler Fire, which we'll get into that here in our fire forecast here in just a little bit. Wind gusts right now, yeah, they're fairly calm at the current hour. That's obviously good news. I don't like the fact that the winds are picking up in the afternoon, but this is pretty typical. You see the winds coming in from the south for the valley, coming in from the west for the eastern mountains, and coming in from the northwest up to the north, and a bit of a north wind out along the coast. A little breezy, by the way, for Crescent City, for example. Then the winds die down tonight, tomorrow morning, and should no longer really be a factor, although they will probably pick up again for Tuesday afternoon. Big broad ridge of high pressure over us. That is giving us the heat. Boy, oh boy, is it ever. And we're going to feel it again here for today. Let's take a look at Futurecast. And really, the latest forecast model is actually picking up on the potential for some afternoon thunderstorms in northern Trinity County and into eastern portions of Modoc County as well. Not out of the question. It's going to be few and far between. And I think in Modoc County, it's mainly, say, Highway 299 east. West of that, probably not. And as I mentioned, maybe in northern Trinity County as well. And by the way, that fog kind of just hanging around, especially out towards Humboldt Bay. All right, so there's your temperatures for today. Yes, as I mentioned, one more day of this heat wave before we do see our temperatures begin to drop again. And that's going to be about 106 degrees for Redding, 102 degrees for Chico, 90s for pretty much all of the higher elevations, and of course the triple digits there as well for some of the lower elevations in the mountains. For tonight, we're dropping down to the mid to upper 60s for the valley. In the mountains, you're talking mid to upper 50s and low 50s for the coast. All right, there's look at your 7-day forecast for the valley. Temperatures are dropping after today, but keep in mind it's still going to be hot. The normal high is about 100 degrees, but we will be either right around 100 or below that. So we do expect temperatures to be around normal. A normal, typical summer, essentially, is what we're looking at here. There you can see for the coast, low to mid 60s for inland and for Trinity County. Still about 100 degrees even tomorrow for Weaverville, for example, but it is dropping back down to the mid to upper 90s after that for Wednesday, Thursday, and for your Friday. And there you should see the hazy skies for Siskiyou County as well as El Terce. Now, El Terce, I put the chance for showers and maybe even a thunderstorm for you this afternoon. Smoky skies for places like Susanville northward as those smoke comes in from the green fire. And those temperatures will be in the mid-90s for your daytime highs there. All right, let's take a look at that, those fires here. And before we get into it, I do want to remind you that I am giving you the latest data that I've been able to show you here as we get here in just a second. But I do want to remind you there is a great website. It's called weathernorcal.com. Have you heard of it? Check it out. And there you can go to fire danger section. Just scroll down a little bit. You'll see the fire danger section. Click on that. It's a one-stop shop. It'll have all the information you need about any fires you may be tracking. All right, so let's take a look at the fire tracker. And you can see the heat signatures there. And mainly what we're seeing in the heat signatures are the green fire and the Butler fire. All right, so let's take a closer look now. This is actually looking at some of the smoke that we are seeing coming in from the green fire. In fact, I want to show you here what some of the recent activity here. So you can see that I've circled them in yellow. On the left side there is the Butler fire. On the center, kind of right side there is the green fire. Now you can see before sunset and last night, there was certainly some activity coming in from the fires. We've seen them, and this is normal, especially when the winds aren't blowing that much. We start to see the fires kind of settle down a little bit, and that smoke tends to settle down on the fire as well. But then eventually, as the sun comes up and we start to heat things up and the winds begin to kind of pick up again, we start to see the fires begin to get more active. Some days they can get more active than others. It just depends on that column of smoke, what it's doing. Is it allowed to breathe a little bit more? As a result, sometimes you can get bigger flare-ups. So we'll see what happens with that. But as of right now, you can see looking at the latest data, we are not seeing those fires really producing a lot of smoke, or should I say, really all that active. They are producing a lot of smoke, which you can clearly see right there, right? I mean, that's looking all the smoke coming in from the green fire. So just be vigilant of that. Know that the air quality is going to be pretty poor in some areas here this morning, and stay inside if you are sensitive to that smoke. So looking at the green fire. Now, this is the latest data coming in as of yesterday at 7:03 p.m., a little over, in fact, 11,642 acres, that is, 5% containment. You see the evacuation warning and the evacuation order. Now, the red dots indicate the most recent activity we've seen on the fire, and that puts it about, say, 6 to 12 hours old. Now, you can see outside of the perimeter to the north, you can see really on all sides of the fire, we actually do have some recent activity. Minus, it looks like kind of the east side there, kind of a little bit of the southeast, but overall, it's still fairly active this morning as well, as you can see, kind of around the outer perimeter of the fire. So that's why we're seeing a lot of that smoke coming in from the green fire. Let's take a look now at the latest on the Butler fire and the Jacket fire. These were also reported as Butler fire as of last night about 10 p.m., but the Jacket fire hasn't seen a report since 9:04 yesterday. Still, the Jacket fire, 46 acres, 96% containment. We're looking at the Butler fire there, and you can see it's 7,203 acres. Unfortunately, no containment. Let me double check that. If my memory serves me correctly, it is 0%. It is. Yeah, just double checking. But you can see the evacuation order. We've had the evacuation warning in that area. Really, overall, though, as I look at the heat signatures, not seeing a lot. There are a few to the north. There are a few kind of that south end of the fire there. But overall, not much. And we're beginning to, it looks like we may eventually see those two fires merge, kind of the south and north end of that fire merge a little bit. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, no containment. But it is still producing a lot of smoke. Basically, the two main smoke producers are the Butler fire and the green fire right now. Take it to the north and west where we've got the red fire. You can see it right there. I haven't seen much change with this one. As of last night, it's 116 acres at about 50% containment at this point. So taking a look now at the summit fire, where you can see the evacuation order still in place there, in the evacuation warning for the yellow, which is SIS 2100-B. As of last night, 7:49 p.m., 705 acres and 35% containment. Take a look at the latest coming in from, I mean, I updated these before I came on live here, but sometimes it literally can just change within minutes. 35% contained, 705 acres. Yeah, again, as of 7:49 p.m. last night. So again, you get the idea of what's going on with the fires. You know, overall, they've been active, right? But are there major concerns with them right now? No. That's what I'm seeing right now in my experience. We have fires. And someone was asking me, I was talking to a family member yesterday on a Zoom call, and they were asking how the fires are here in Northern California. I said, you know, it's a pretty standard summer. A lot of the fires that we've had, that we have right now, are from lightning-caused fires. So if we're going to have a fire that's caused, it's better that it's caused by lightning than human-caused, right? So at least there's that. But that being said, we're seeing smoke. You know, the fires are burning, and you know, air quality is bad. But we really haven't had any major catastrophes in Northern California. And this is something I always stress, and you're looking at it right here. It's the winds. In my experience, the wind for the season can make or break a fire season. End of story. Hot and dry conditions, yes, that can contribute and does contribute to the overall fire weather risk. But the winds, if we have a big major wind event and a fire takes off, it's all over. That's when the winds do that, that's when the fire spreads so rapidly that it creates a major problem, and it grows so fast. And that's when we start seeing, you know, homes lost, lives are lost. It's terrible. So the good news is we haven't really seen any major wind events so far this summer. Yes, it gets breezy like you see right here, but this is normal. This is standard. 20, 25 mile an hour gust. Yeah, we don't want to see it. That doesn't help, but at least we're not talking 40, 50 miles an hour, right? Now we go into tomorrow morning, the winds died down, not a big issue. By the afternoon, yeah, we're still seeing those afternoon gusts, right? And then Wednesday morning, all right, we go into the afternoon, wind's not that much of a factor again. All right, here's the fire weather risk. Notice this, between Redding and Red Bluff, that dot of red, that is in the very high category. When we start seeing red on the map and purple on the map, this is when you got to go, all right, you know what? I want everyone to be really careful today. It's dry, it's hot, it's going to be very hot today. And combined with those breezy south winds, it's going to really elevate that fire weather risk. Now, the fire weather risk won't be as elevated tomorrow, but still elevated. You can see in the moderate to high, which is around normal. We typically see that on a regular basis during the fire season in the valley in particular. And then you can see by midday, we're on our way to a moderate to high fire weather risk once again. All right, so there's a look at the smoke. Now, what we're seeing here is the smoke for the green fire. In the valley, the winds are blowing from the south. So what that's going to do is blow the smoke northward. But also on the west side of the green fire, we've got those winds coming in from the northwest, blowing that smoke eastward. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at that. You see how it blows northward and then eventually to the east. So Bernie, you might be able to dodge that smoke for the really dense smoke, because the smoke is going to blow to the north, and then those upper level winds eventually kick it off to the east into places like Aden and southern Modoc County. Now, looking at the Butler fire, all that purple on the screen there, that has winds coming in from the north. So that is going to push the northwest, really, pushing it down to the south and east over southern western portions of Siskiyou County and into Trinity County too. That's where you're going to see the most dense smoke. Now, the rest of it's still hazy. You may even smell some smoke out there. I've got Tim Moore saying really smoky in Lookout and my drive to Bernie. I'm not surprised. Thank you, Tim, for that report, by the way. We take it to Monday, 10 p.m. That's today. You see the smoke, kind of the same story, right? Same areas. And then, we're seeing less smoke. And why? Because, of course, the fires tend to settle down. Then we go into Tuesday afternoon, same story. It's going to be kind of a rinse and repeat as we take a look at the smoke forecast going into your Tuesday as well. All right, let's go ahead and take a look now at some of the cameras out there this morning. Before we get to the deeper dive forecast, there's Lake Oroville, North Forebay this morning. Don't see much haze or smoke there. There's a look at Main Street, Chico on Highway 32. Not a whole lot of traffic going on. That's probably a good thing, right? Especially if you have to be out there in it. There's Highway 99 at Neal Road. Looks pretty good there as well. We're going to take you out to Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive, a bit hazy. Can't really see from this camera, but it is certainly a bit hazy and smoky out there in some cases. Taking a look at Crescent City, that's not smoke, that is fog, my friends. They've got some fog this morning along the coast, but I do think that'll eventually burn off later on today. All right, let's go and take a look at the Bald Hill West. This is looking down. I believe that is Hoopa off in the distance. We'd have some smoke off in the distance there. There is going to be some smoke, by the way, in eastern Humboldt County later today, but then that will be pushed eastward. There's a look at Soda Ridge, and you can see some of the smoke that we're seeing hanging out there. So yeah, it's going to be hazy, it's going to be smoky, but that's to be expected when we've got two big fires burning in the area. Look at Fort Jones, though. Not much smoke or haze there right now. Just some clouds through the area. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm absolutely loving that shot there. What a gorgeous area we live in. Really. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Well, as you know, Coffee with Krueger is made possible by Wind River Resort and Casino. We couldn't do this without our sponsors, folks. I couldn't do this at all. So be grateful for the sponsors that we have. So I want to thank Wind River for their support. Their continued support, by the way, of Coffee with Krueger. They have been the sponsor of Coffee with Krueger since day one. So just phenomenal. It's great. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Here's a look at current temperatures out there right now. We're sitting at about 73 degrees. So pretty mild this morning, 68 degrees in Oroville. Warm, really, right? 62 degrees for Alturas, as well as Weaverville, low 50s for the coast. Hot. This is what this map essentially is showing us. It's going to be hot. There is an extreme heat warning for western Siskiyou, northern Humboldt, and Del Norte counties, not including the coast, and Trinity County. Excessive extreme heat warning. The rest of Northern California, minus the coast, is under a heat advisory. No big surprises there. Another quick friendly reminder, if the temperature is 90 degrees outside, for example, the grass will be 90 degrees. Any other surface, you're going to see a hotter surface. The concrete is 90 degrees warmer than that. Soil, if you're on a dirt path, right, going on a hike, 16 degrees warmer. Look at brick and asphalt, even worse. So just remember that your dog's paws are susceptible to that heat. And remember the 5-second rule. If you can't hold the back of your hand on the pavement for 5 seconds, it's too hot for your pet's paws, without a doubt. There's that big ridge of high pressure giving us that heat and really heating that surface, which is why you got to make sure your pet's paws are covered or protected, or you take them on walks in the early morning hours or late evening. But that ridge of high pressure is going to start to slowly break down, and here's why. You see two main big bubbles of heat. One is off to our west, the other is to our south. You see that little area of low pressure right there? That's starting to kind of bring in some more mild air. That's why temperatures are dropping tomorrow and Wednesday. Another pocket of cooler, more mild air will move in toward the end of the week and this weekend. And the main thing that that's doing is pushing that heat to our south and east and to our west. And as a result, our temperatures are going to be right around or just below normal for this time of the year. And you can see that on the 10-day trend. The normal high in Redding, by the way, is 100 degrees this time of the year. So we're actually, for the most part, going to be below that after today. So yeah, if we can drop our temperature below 100 degrees this time of the year, we are in good shape, right? Here's a look at your water vapor imagery. This just shows you where the moisture or lack thereof is. You see those rust colors, that's the dry air that's being pushed into Northern California. But there may be just enough moisture for Mother Nature to squeeze out a shower or two out towards Modoc County, maybe northern Trinity County as well, maybe even a stray thunderstorm. But overall, not that big of a deal. Then we're taking you to tomorrow morning. You got the fog along the coast, as we typically see. That will burn off, especially out towards Crescent City, but may have a hard time burning off for the rest of the coast. No showers, no thunderstorms are expected tomorrow. And then going through the day on Wednesday, just some afternoon clouds and some burning of that fog along the coast. But some of that fog may persist for some of you on the coast. Here's a look at those lake levels. Actually saw it drop about a foot for Shasta Lake and almost 2 feet for Lake Oroville and about a quarter of a foot for Trinity Lake, but still very good capacity right now and still well above that historical average where we typically are with those lake levels. Let's look at the wave heights for today. They're going to be fairly high and looks like they're going to stay fairly high for your Tuesday. There is a small craft advisory for today. Those northwest winds at about 15 to 20 knots, waves from the northwest at 8 feet at about 10 seconds. All right, here's a look at your detailed neighborhood forecast. Here's a look at Trinity County. It's going to be hot there, over 100 degrees in most cases. We take it to the south, about 93 in Mad River, 97 for Forest Glen and Ruth, about 98. And Hayfork, a high of about 106 degrees. Let's take you out to southern Humboldt County as we look at our north coast and neighborhood forecast. 96 degrees for Miranda, 93 in Garberville, and 84 degrees in Redcrest. 64 degrees in Ferndale, 67 degrees in Fortuna, and 69 degrees in Rio Dell. 107 for Willow Creek, Hoopa about 105. And there's a look at Blue Lake with the topping out at 71 degrees. 95 Gasquet, 106 for Orleans. There you can see 66 degrees in Klamath and 68 degrees in Orick. For your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, we've got temperatures most likely 100 degrees or higher, but temperatures are dropping as we go into the next several days. 99 degrees in Etna, you got haze, a little bit of smoke out there. 97 degrees in Callahan. Take you up to Weed with a high of 97, 100 in McLeod, and 97 degrees in Tule Lake. Take you out to Modoc County. Of course, that's where that smoke is really going to be pushing in from the green fire. 99 degrees in Alturas, 95 in Cedarville, and likely about 100 degrees. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, smoky. Yeah, I think what's going to happen is that smoke is going to blow. Although places like Paynes Creek, Shingletown, Bernie, Montgomery Creek, probably not as bad. I think most of the smoke will be off to your north, but we could see some of that push eastward into Manzanita Lake, out towards Lake Almanor. But look at the temperatures. For Chester, you're back down to the upper 80s by Thursday, Friday, and through the weekend. Take you out to Mineral, the high of 92, 104 out in Susanville. Could see some smoke there later this afternoon. Not so much for Paradise, though. Quincy, about 101 degrees. Temperatures are dropping after today. Your Valley neighborhood forecast in the south, as mentioned, it'll probably still be a little bit hazy in some spots for the Valley as well. But with that south wind, that's really going to help to push a lot of that haze and smoke to the north of the valley. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast for Chico. Temperatures dropping below 100 degrees by tomorrow. And we're in the low 90s. Yeah, low 90s by Wednesday, Thursday in Chico. We'll take it. Take you up to the north, 106. Yes, today's the last day of the heat wave, folks. Just get through one more day. 104 in Whiskeytown, 104 for Lakehead. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast for Redding. Upper 90s for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and right around 100 degrees here for places like for Saturday and Sunday, that is. So there it is. That's what our forecast is looking like, and it is going to be downright hot here for today. But the good news is we are going to be looking at things kind of dropping as far as those temperatures are concerned. Let's check in with some of you. Looks like it's been a little active here. Some people kind of mentioning a few things here. Let's see here. Steven saying music. Yeah, that's when the music was still on here. We got Betty saying, thank you. Have a great vacation with your family. Enjoy the beautiful beach. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Such great support from you, by the way. I did do that post, kind of what I was explaining about being here and still being able to work. And so many of you are supportive of what I'm doing, that I'm still able to give you the forecast, and I'm on vacation. And I'm enjoying a little bit of time away, but I can still give you the most accurate forecast in Northern California. Jeff Johnson saying, buenos dias, mi amigo. That's about all I know, and it's probably not even right. No, it is. I think so. Buenos dias? I think so. I don't know a lot of Spanish either. We're working on it. My wife and I were buying tacos, and it was a little bit of a struggle. So, yeah, we need to learn. We should probably learn. Tracy saying, good morning. The smoke is awful in MacArthur. Doesn't surprise me with that wind that's been shifting. And you're probably going to be dealing with it again here for the rest of the day today. Unfortunately, that's the way those winds are blowing. James and Manny Chepson, have a great day and safe day. The only time I wish for rain. Yeah, right? Exactly. The rain would be really nice. It's just a good good soaking would be nice. Really smoky in the Lookout and Drive to Bernie. Yeah, I think I saw that earlier. And big, very thick and big valley. Bieber, yeah, doesn't surprise me. Again, kind of moving up to the north from the Green Fire. That's all coming from the Green Fire, by the way. And Tracy's saying we appreciate you. Well, I appreciate you too. I appreciate all of you for watching and for, you know, just checking everything out. I really appreciate all of the support that I've gotten really since day one. Tracy said, had some rain on my way home yesterday between Aden and Canby. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I think that's something I noticed and talked about on Friday before I left on vacation, that Sunday there's going to be the potential for some showers popping up. And sure enough, looks like that's what happened. So forecast verified, as us meteorologists call it. So once again, I want to thank you all so much for watching. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here this morning and get ready for your Monday. Be sure to check in. I'll have your afternoon update and also your update at 6 o'clock this evening. And I'll have your regular updates on social media as well. So keep it right here, Weather NorCal, for the latest information. And we will talk to you tomorrow right here on Coffee with Krueger. Have yourselves a great rest of your day.